Hi everybody, so today I wanted to share with you a little dinner meal that I'm making. It's sort of variation on Brinner for us, breakfast for dinner, but it's a breakfast casserole, ham and egg casserole. So when we lived in the States, when I lived in the States, breakfast casseroles were quite a common thing to make. Like if you went to a potluck or if you had a breakfast at work or that sort of thing, somebody always bought a breakfast casserole. Which was quite a new thing to me. I'd certainly never had it here. And there's all different ways of making it. You can make it with bread in it, a bit like a savoury, like a bread and butter pudding, but with meat and some vegetables in with it. But the way I like to make it is a bit like a giant baked omelette. So I'm doing ham and cheese tonight, and I thought I'd just show you how I prepare it. So that you can see how it comes together in case you wanted to give it a try. So I'll just run through the ingredients. So I've got some chopped ham here. This is just a package of the quite good quality ham. I really would prefer it a little thicker than that. And often I would use, if I'd made a gammon joint, I would take some of that off if I had some left over and chop that up to use in it, so you could have thicker pieces. You could also use chopped cooked sausage in this. You could use bacon. So whatever meat you've got really that you wouldn't mind putting into like an omelette style meal. Then you want a dozen eggs. So I'm making a big in inches 9 by 13. I don't know what that is in new money in terms of centimeters. I still work in inches for my baking dishes and cake tins, but this is a 9 by 13, so one of the larger casserole dishes. So I'm using a dozen eggs. I need a cup of milk and a quarter cup of butter, a little bit of pepper, and then this is a seasoning mix that I make up myself. I've called it Greek because it's sort of Mediterranean style, and I use these little jars to I make up a taco seasoning like this. If I use a flavour profile in a dish and I quite like it, I'll make up a batch of whatever seasoning I put in so that I can easily recreate it. So this has just got in it 2 teaspoons of coarse salt, so kosher salt or sea salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of oregano, 1.5 teaspoons of onion granules or onion powder, a teaspoon of cornstarch, and that just stops it all sticking together, a teaspoon of parsley, half a teaspoon each of cinnamon and nutmeg, and that gives it a real Mediterranean or almost kind of Eastern, like Moroccan style profile. So I've called it Greek, but it's that sort of flavour profile. I'm going to use a little bit of that. I'm only going to use about half a teaspoon of that. A tablespoon of flour, half a tablespoon of mustard. You want about a couple of cups of grated cheese. So that's a couple of nice big handfuls of grated cheese. And then you want about a quarter cup of grated pecorino or parmesan. You could use either for this. I just happen to have pecorino at the shop today, so that's a quarter cup. So it's just a small amount of the salty kind of cheese to give it a little bit of extra flavour. So that's all the ingredients you need. So I'm going to start putting this together, and then I'll come back and show you once I've got the beginnings of it, so that you can see how it comes together to make a casserole. So in the bowl here I've got combined the ham, the 2 cups of shredded cheese, quarter of a cup of Parmesan cheese, a tablespoon of flour, about a quarter to a half of a teaspoon of my seasoning mix, and just a little pinch extra of pepper. So I've combined that all, and I'm just going to pour that into the baking dish, which I've sprayed with some spray oil. So the reason you put the flour in is a bit like if you're making a cake that has pieces of fruit in it. It stops all the ham and everything just sitting at the bottom of the dish when it's done, and it keeps everything nice and separated. So you just want to spread that out a little bit in the bottom of the dish. You can see the cheese is going straight on the bottom, so that's why you want to make sure you've just greased your pan a little bit. Could grease it with butter if you're really not at all bothered, but I'm going to pour butter over the top of this, so you probably don't want to grease the bottom with butter as well. So that's everything from that mixture has gone there into the pan. Now I've got in here a quarter cup of butter that I've melted. Now a quarter cup is about 57 grams, so I've just gone with 50 grams of butter. You know, in the States you buy butter in sticks, and it's easy to, they're marked with how much is in the stick. It's easy to just cut off a 1/4 cup. Here we buy butter in blocks and it's not as easily marked. So there is about 50 grams in here, and I'm just going to pour that, drizzle that over the top of the cheese and ham and seasoning mixture. Now at this point you could also add chopped onions, chopped peppers, chopped mushrooms, something like that in with this mix. You could cook them a little bit first and sprinkle them over the top here. I'm not adding vegetables to it. I am going to cook some mushrooms to have on the side with mine, but I'm not adding vegetables to it because we're all eating it, and if I put peppers and onions and things in it, Caleb is less likely to eat it. So that's that step. Now what I'm going to do is take a cup of milk. You could also, if you wanted to be really extravagant, if it was a special occasion, use cream, double cream, heavy cream for this, but I'm going to use a cup of milk, and I'm going to whisk that together with my dozen eggs and half a tablespoon of Dijon mustard and another little pinch of black pepper. So once I've got that all whisked together, I'll come back again. Okay, so there is our beaten up eggs and milk, a little bit of pepper and a little bit of mustard to give it some flavour. And we're now just going to pour that over the top of the ham mixture. And I've heated the oven to 160 fan, which would be about 180 Celsius, about 350 Fahrenheit. And you want to cook it for about 30 to 35 minutes until, you know, if you poke a knife in, like with a cake, it comes out clean. So you want the middle of the egg to be set, obviously. You can also, when it comes out of the oven, sprinkle it with a little bit more cheese and just put it back in the oven for a couple of minutes to melt the cheese, which I will probably do. As you know, this family loves cheese. So I'm just going to pour this eggy mixture all over the top. Doesn't really matter if you just pour it in one place for this because it's a liquid, so it's going to fill the pan. So that is it. That now goes in the oven for half an hour. While that's cooking, I'm going to make up a simple fruit salad, and then I'm going to heat up some baked beans for Tony and I, as Caleb won't have those, and cook up a few mushrooms for me as well, because I would typically have put mushrooms and peppers in something like this if I were making it just for me and Tony. So yeah, this is going in the oven. I'll come back and show you when it's finished. So there is the finished product. I had 30 minutes and then I brought it out of the oven, sprinkled a little bit more cheese over the top, popped it back in for 5 more minutes. When it comes out, it's really puffed up, like up here, and then it just settles back down a bit like a souffle. So it's like a baked omelette. When I take it out and plate it up, I will take a picture of the plate, so you can see what it actually looks like out of the pan. But we're having this with, I've got some sauteed mushrooms there, we've got baked beans, we've got nice warm croissants which I just put in for the last 5 minutes while the cheese was melting, and then Caleb's made us a nice fruit salad to have with it. So that's our sort of Brinner-y type dinner that we would have this for, but you could definitely have this for breakfast, for brunch, or for lunch with like a salad or something with it. So it is a really versatile meal, and as I said, you could put any kind of toppings inside or filling inside, anything that you would normally put into an omelette really. So I hope you enjoyed this little cook with me, and we hope to see you back here on SeeSaw soon.